Hey, this is John from Distressed Mullet, and this is the Sonar report for October 3rd, 2013. We're fresh back from the Battle of the Paddle out in Doheny Beach, and we are exhausted. It was an amazing weekend. Sparky Longley, Barrett Tester, Jerry Lopez, all the volunteers, Mama C, everybody who hosted and had us over there. It was just, your event is insane. I can't believe the effort that goes into the planning and execution of this, and you guys should be really stoked. It's truly the Super Bowl of SUP. First of all, Sparky is a class act. I watched him roll up his sleeves and help with registration. He fielded questions, and when two jackasses totally blew him up for having to change lines or something like that, he said, look, let me take care of you personally. What are your names? He got them all calmed down, apologized for the confusion, and let them move on the way. It was such a class act and class move, and I think if I was in that spot and it was my event, I might have told them to go pound sand because it was pretty annoying. I think Jerry Lopez was the model for Yoda. I think they made it after him. He sat there for hours and signed autographs. He's so peaceful, so calm. He moves like he doesn't have any touch with gravity. I mean, he just sort of flows. So I'm not sure if he has an interior skeleton, but I mean, the guy is just all flow. So that leads me to the 99% discussion that we got into. And 99% of the people don't race stand-up paddleboards. The majority of the market for paddleboards is people that are weekend warriors that have families that are buying inflatables, not people that are at the beach or riding waves or racing these fancy boards. But I can't say that they're separated. They are inextricably linked. The people that started the racing are the people that inspire us. They're the people that we talk about. They're the people that we follow. And I think that's what's so wonderful about this sport and how inclusive it is that the people that started this sport seemed to believe that the waves were for everyone. Laird, at his speech for his Lifetime Achievement Award at the Battle of Paddle, the day before the Battle of Paddle, has really made that point that the waves are for everybody. And I think that these top people, they're just so genuine and so inclusive and so approachable, and you can really talk to them. I mean, they stop, they take photographs. Laird took photographs with everybody that came up to him. You can go up to Danny Ching and he'll stop what he's doing and he'll talk to you and he'll get a photograph and he'll sign an autograph. And Jenny Comblock and Candace Appleby was running around helping all the kids and saying hey, and she was injured but she was, you know, fully participating. And Chuck Patterson, I mean, the guy's just smiling all the time. I mean, these are the people that are leading the sport. And even though 99% of the people may not be riding the fanciest brand new race boards, they are looking up to some of these people and saying, you know, these are really inspiring people, and these are the people that I like to think that I'm in this sport, and even though I don't do what they do, I in some small way am sort of like them, or at least I'm part of this. And it's not like some of the surfing and some of the exclusive feeling that I might not ever be able to be part of this population. They might never accept me because they're in. I mean, they're 55 years old. They've got a minivan and they've got 3 boards and an inflatable and a adjustable paddle, and they are paddlers. They might not be what hardcore waterman defining people define as watermen, but for everybody else who doesn't really give a crap, they're one of them. I mean, they're like all of us. So I think the 99% argument is really good. I think, you know, what's in it for the rec paddler, what's in it for the normal person is a question that every company and every person that's in the industry has to ask. But I don't think ignoring the race side or something like Battle of the Paddle is in their best interest. It's also their only venue to be able to talk to these people. So when you have an outdoor event like Battle of the Paddle, which is probably the best outdoor expo outside of the Retailers Expo in Utah for anybody to try boards, every company is there. You can take out, I took out maybe 20 different boards over the 2 days and had a blast. But you just don't have a venue like that, and you don't have the ability to surf, and there's flat water in the harbor, and you can really try anything. So I think venues like these, races like these, you have to pay attention to them. You have to support them, even if your target audience is buying inflatables or buying a 11-foot board or buying some kind of paddle that's adjustable. So being able to try about 20 or maybe 25 boards has its benefits. There's a couple of things that really stuck out. One of the real happy surprises was I went out on the Jerry Lopez Uli 9.0 inflatable, and paddling out was a little bit difficult. The thing wanted to punch through rather than hop over the waves on when the white water came at you. But when you turned and tried to paddle on the wave, it just planed and just slid right in the waves, and it turned. I was so surprised at how much fun it was, and I rode wave after wave and had a blast. The second board that really blew me away was the Bark Excursion. It's a 12-foot board that's shaped sort of like a downwind board, but it caught every wave that was at Doheny. I mean, that thing turned, it got into waves super early, just as far out as a race board, and it was just a blast. I mean, super stable, but it wasn't so bulky, and it didn't have so much volume that you didn't think you could move it. I mean, I'm 175 pounds, and I could turn that and swing that thing around very, very easily. It was super responsive with the 2+1 setup. Really liked it. And then I handed it to 80% Chuck, and he got out there at 210 pounds and could swing that thing around too. So really, really great board. I think as an entry level into the downwinding, or just an all-around board that you can go surfing on, maybe not on super critical beach breaks, but on a wave like Doheny, it's a really good option. The other all-around board that I really, really liked was the Colin McPhillips 9.2 Torque. It was exactly what I look for in a stand-up paddleboard. I know a lot of people are going so small that it almost becomes like a short board. It's like they're standing ankle deep in the water. And I think at some point, mimicking short boards is just not the way to go. When you're sitting inside a short board, you sort of lost all the charm and all the fun of being on a stand-up. I mean, getting in early, getting set up early on a wave, and being able to do things with that paddle, I mean, that's sort of the crux of stand-up paddle surfing. And this Colin, I mean, you could go out, it was easy to paddle over waves. It just popped over waves going out. It had enough float for me at 175. It had enough float for Chris at 210. And then with that thruster setup, I mean, that thing turned on a dime. And watching, not that we're all Colin McPhillips, but just seeing what that thing can do is just amazing. The other board that was beyond my skills, but I watched Ryan Helm just kill it on, was the Riviera Door. Thing's a square board. He rode it finless and spun that thing around. He and Brandon Rambo were just doing things on there that were making the crowd just like crazy. I mean, everybody was watching these guys come in and just do 360s and flipping it, and it was just, I've never seen anything like it. I'm going to post a video so you can see Ryan on this finless board, but I got on there, I had trouble with tracking. I had to figure it out. I think it's more of a one-day 20-minute try the board out thing. I think you really have to be able to put some time into it. And I think given a couple of days with waves, I think it could have gotten the hang of it. I mean, I caught a couple of waves, tried to cut back on a couple, and the thing just spun, and I had a blast. It's not something you can horse. You just got to go with it. So really enjoyed it. I also got to try a lot of paddles. The Riviera Bump was a real surprise for me. I had tried it here once, but I really didn't spend much time with it because it was a longer paddle, had it cut for a friend of mine. Thought he and like 3 other people would be able to test it out a little bit better than just myself. So I didn't get a good shot at it till I got in California, and I got one that fit me. The texture on that when it gets wet is so tacky. You don't have to worry about any kind of wax. You don't have to put any kind of paddle grip on it. It feels like a glove. It feels like it was made for your hand. And the grip actually has the palm grip actually has finger spots for your finger, and it's just so comfortable. I loved paddling with it. I loved surfing with it. And I think that if I cut that down maybe a little shorter than my race paddle, it's going to make an amazing addition to my surfing. I think that's probably going to be the paddle that I'm going to use. The other paddle that blew me away was the Quickblade 92, and it was a 92-inch Slim Jim paddle that was designed for Travis Grant. It's sort of an interesting shape. He won the elite distance race with it, and it seems like what everybody was going to on the in that Quickblade team. It looked super light. I also like the Quickblade flyweight. I'm really thinking about maybe picking up one of those. There was one paddler who, actually I can't even name him because he rides for another company, and he had to use a Quickblade, but he came in and the top, we'll say 7 in the distance race because his paddle broke and he couldn't get a replacement, and Jimmy had one that fit him. So that flyweight, I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth between the flyweights and the big like Kalama, Mama Kalama, 110 square inch paddles. I think the school's out on where that is, and I can see it going back and forth between the two, and what people are comfortable with the cadence and the rate that they're going, and the distance too, and as far as what kind of paddle they have. The other thing that I really liked was the Quickblade adjustables. The way he's designed them, the 45-degree angle cut so that they don't come apart, even just the way that they adjust to your height, I thought was super easy. The three-piece will fit in any inflatable backpack. I just thought it was really well constructed, and something I might want to pick up the two-piece just for travel, because I think you take it as a carry-on. I don't know if they'll let you go on with the paddle as a carry-on, but it just looked like the perfect thing. And I know Larry Kane has traveled around with a couple of them, and he's had a lot of success. I really appreciate all the support that you guys are giving to the Distressed Mullet. It's really hard with a staff of like 2.5 to do what we do, but as we grow, so does our family, and we're just we are the people that embrace our inner kook. I mean, we're the 99%, but we love the racers, and we appreciate the people that can surf really well, and we appreciate all the work that's gone into it by all of these companies. And when we meet each other, we have something in common right away. The ice is broken instantly. So I just want to thank all the people from the sport, and again, all the organizers of the Battle of the Paddle. It was such a gift to be able to go out there and see everybody that I've met over the past 6 years, and to be able to surf down at Dog Patch and come up at Doheny and just have a blast. Thank you to everybody, and I guess until the next race we meet, or till you log on to distressedmullet.com. And finally, I really want to thank the Duloc families. Steve Duloc had us over to his home in Dana Point. His parents opened up their home to us and hosted us. His sister, Danny Ching, and his family, Jane, Josh, everybody. I mean, you made our stay so wonderful. It felt like we were visiting family out there. And when we sat down for dinners, and kids running around, and the barbecue going, and people handing beers out of coolers, it just felt like such a warm and inviting place. I don't know if I've ever been involved with a group of people or a sport that has been to this degree, so inviting. And hey, thanks Hobie. Really appreciate the race board, inviting us to the barbecue. It's always cool hanging out with you guys. We got some great footage from your warehouse. Really appreciate you measuring Sweaty's head. I think most people looked at that and saw something around the 1 foot wide range, but unfortunately his head is not that large. It's 6.1 inches. So thanks for hooking us up with that. Some great video. You guys are the best. Love seeing you whenever we come out there. Thanks also to Riviera Paddlesurf. Riviera, you guys are amazing. I mean, going out to the warehouse, hooking us up with boards to surf. We went down to Doheny. Big Mike, Taylor, Brandon, Brad, man, the whole crew, just really appreciate everything. It was awesome. Going into that warehouse and seeing you guys is like seeing a bunch of old friends. And love that you guys picked up Brian Helm. Looks like you guys are going to do some really fun things for the sport and for surfing. Thank you. You're out for the Sonar report. Out.